All righty. Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm Dr. Venus, your hot mess millionaire, and I welcome you to our Hot Mess Millionaire show. I am focusing today on the Black men who love us. There has been so much negativity. Oh my God, around Black men in the media, it feels like for forever, but specifically since George Floyd was executed publicly by the police. Now, we know this is not new. Racism isn't new, it's just being filmed. I'm clear about that. But then we also have some other stuff where Black men beating Black women, shooting Black women, that just didn't help the situation, right? And so I've been being with it, and I'm an empath and I feel deeply for us and I love us and I love Black men. So I wanted to take a moment. Yes, they've done some foul stuff. We all know, I know, we know. Okay, that's not even we're not questioning the truth. But what I also know is there have been some great Black men who've been good to us. And it's very easy, at least it is for me, to focus on the negative when I'm hurting. But it takes something to actually focus on, or at least give my attention to, the positive when we're going through, right? And so what I wanted to do today was to celebrate our brothers, right? To celebrate them. And I'm going to encourage you to subscribe, share, tag, do the hula hoop, whatever. Just get the word out, because I think a lot of times when everything goes bad, it's easy to see only bad, you know. And to be fair, this is a hard season. This is not an easy time, you know, between the protests, pandemics, the voting suppression stuff, and 45 doing 45 things. It's very easy to lose hope. It's very easy to villainize each other. And I have a real commitment to healing that within us, that we stop villainizing each other for our wounds, okay? And that we unite so that we can actually, slay the dragon called white supremacy, like slay the Goliath of systemic racism, crush the the Godzilla of racial bias. Okay, so they can stop killing us. All right. So this is what we're going to do. For those of you who are new to me, please bless, good luck. I'm Dr. Venus, your hot mess millionaire. The hot mess part is literally a hot mess. I was living on the streets by the time I was 16 years old, eating out of trash cans, sleeping in urine and beer. Okay. My ninth grade math teacher, a Black woman, holler and preach, saved my life. Because of her love, I eventually graduated from Stanford University with a second master's and a PhD. I have 4 degrees. I am an identity theorist by training. I studied the intersectionality of race, gender, sexuality, and class. Ergo, this is why I do what I do. Okay. Now, the millionaire part is I was able to take my research, bring it to market to the tune of 5 million in less than 6 years. All right. And I got a real sweet spot for teaching primarily Black women entrepreneurs how to turn their pain into profit. That's what I do. Purpose, peace, and profits. Right. So, and I got an idea. I'm gonna share with you at the end of this particular episode, but hang out with me. Okay. I want to encourage you to get a pen and pad because I'm teaching today. This is a teaching day. Not a preaching day, it's a teaching day. So there's some good stuff that I want to put some points in so that ladies, when Black men lose their minds, you don't lose yours. Okay. Because I got theories about some things and we're going to handle it all today. All right. And the last thing I want to share before I deep dive into this is that I always put I was a tenured professor before I became an entrepreneur. So I'm always providing resources and the source material that I use to build my conversations, my trainings, okay? And they're all in the notes. So I'm going to encourage you to share this particular episode so people get access to the notes. If you want to empower the Black men in your life, you're going to want these notes. You're going to want these resources because I got videos, Yeah, I remember He Is by Heather Hanley or Brother by Angie Stone. I got some of that going on. But I also have some great articles about Black men empowering Black men, like non-stereotypes of Black men that aren't true. Or Black men are succeeding in America. It's an article by CNN. I also have I got some good stuff. I got some resources: Positive Black Brothers, the 100 Black Men in America, focus on celebrating, educating, and inspiring boys and men of color. That's the Black men making it in America. So I encourage you. I'm cool. I think I'm brilliant. I think that what I have to say matters. But if you can't deal with that, get the resources, push them out, because there's not a lot of positivity or how can I say, intentional focusing on positive Black men stuff. Okay. So please help me partner with me in supporting and empowering our men in the midst of this particular pandemic. We know they did some bad stuff. I'm clear. They did it to you. They did it to me too. We'll talk about it. All right. So that's that. And I'm also putting in I'll do it all. I've turned my platforms over to really empowering us as a people and our allies. Okay. Thank you, allies. Love you, need you, want you, to stop white police from killing Black people. All right. And just to really tear down white supremacy, really remake the world. So the way that I'm choosing to really focus is really empowering us to vote. So in the notes, you'll see the first two action items have to do with voting. So I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't already, register to vote. I'm mailing my vote in. I'm getting it in early because they're trying to do some bull remix, right? And I don't trust our government. So I'm getting my vote in now before they start messing with the post office. Okay. And also for those of us who come from, I'm a street girl, proud of it, love it. Thank you, God, for putting me on the streets, for training me up. I know some brothers and sisters who've gone to jail, and some of them have felonies. So one of the things that happens when you have a felony is that you lose the right to vote, but you have to pay taxes, which I think is crazy. I have opinions. But if you know somebody who's gone to jail, make sure you get them this link. You look at it with them, because the laws changed that allow people who have felonies, who have gone to jail, to vote. So, and it's a big deal, because if we get enough of our disenfranchised brothers and sisters voting, we win. Okay. So I'm really on that tip. I'm really on, okay, who do you know who's gone to jail over some, all right? I have so many opinions about people going to jail for petty crimes, specifically marijuana, and now they're selling it. White boys are selling it, but Black men went to jail for it. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm back. I'm back, God. It just slipped out. I'm back. So my request is that you really take it on yourself, that everybody in your sphere of influence, that they vote, that you make it your business. Did you vote? I'll vote with you. I'll walk you down. I'm actually going to, when it's the election day, I'm going to go work the polls. I'm just committed that we win, because we can't survive another 4. We won't make it with another 4 years of 45. Okay. All right. I think that's all of my announcements. Okay. And this is going to be a good one. Okay. So let's just go right into, where do I want to start? Okay. I got some teaching points. Okay. So here's some good news about Black men. All right. Black men between 1960 and 1960 and 2016 have made great headways into the middle and upper class. Okay. So before tonight, you have to think about it historically, right? If we're thinking about the 60s, that's when we had the civil rights movement. We also had the Black Arts movement. Okay. From then until the last, God bless us, until Obama's last year as president. Okay. There was that Black men were accessing the middle and upper class. And this is from the decennial census 1960 to 2000 and the community surveys 2010, 2016, IPUMS. Okay. And this is what they said was the source, the 3 points, the 3 reasons why Black men were penetrating the middle and upper class. The first one was education. Okay. The second one was work. having a job. Okay. And it didn't specify what kind of job. It could have been blue collar, it could have been white collar, it could have been trade. It didn't matter. But they had a job. Okay. And also in job, and that also includes military. Just so you know, I was in the military. I'm Coast Guard. Okay. Coast Guard Reserve, love me, need me, want me. And the military helped me. Helped me get myself cleaned up. It helped me get some discipline and some structure. And I wasn't very obedient. I still ain't. I can't, good luck. All right, but it had its point. But a lot of us who are poor, we get up off some things when we get in the military, right? So that's another reason. And then check this out, ladies. Fill me on this, and I just need you to snap your fingers for me. Send some hallelujahs up if you need to. That the third reason Black men have been able to access the middle and upper class is because they got married. I don't think they heard me, God. I don't think they heard that. That was so preach. The Black men who got married have been able to go up, to be socially mobile upward because they were married. Now, I'm going to make a joke. Please laugh with me, or at least pretend. And God forgive me for this, because I know I think it's funny. If you think about who Jay-Z married and who Kanye married, can you see the difference in their trajectory? I think that who you love shapes what you do, and who you will listen to, and who can talk to you. I think Beyonce talks differently to Jay-Z than what is that man's wife name? Oh, the Kardashian Kim talks to Kanye. Okay. So I just want to give a shout out to all the brothers who are married, and a lot of Black men who go into the military because they're such a family centered organization. They marry in the military or after the military and stick with that by virtue of that particular structure. Okay. But I wanted to make sure you knew as a woman, and that's just me, that you understand that your value is profound. Okay. So please don't forget that. Don't forget that your value is profound to Black men. And I'm confident that they're not language, they don't have enough language, or the wounds that they have around respectability are so bleeding that they may not be able to say it or see it at the time. But as they emotionally mature, it's sort of like, have you ever had a lover come back? you know, have you ever had somebody come back around? Oh, how you doing? Like years later, because when you have a Black woman who loves you and you let her in your ear, your life works. That is my opinion. Okay. So I just want to get that in. All right. So those are the things I want to put in. Like, so Black men, although the news almost always projects the absolute worst image possible of Black men, it's almost always they're being shot by the police, they're breaking into something, they're hurting somebody else, they're on the street corner, they're in jail. That seems to be the 5 pictures that gets circulated in the media on a regular basis. We don't normally see as frequently images of Black men being great daddies, Black men being great fathers, being great brothers, Black men working with Black women, or having their own business and thriving, unless like a LeBron James. You see what I'm saying? Because, and this is the CNN article that I gave you, it talks about perception. And it's so important, is that if we had more images circulating about Black men who are positive, that are really doing it, and there really are a lot of Black men who are doing great stuff, right? Whether it's in science or politics or education or sports or entertainment, there are a lot of Black men who are killing the game, but we don't see them. And this article from CNN says if we had more of those images circulating, it would impact how the police see us. And I believe that. I believe that if all you see is a Black man shooting or killing or hurting, and that's all you see, you believe it's the truth. And it's not the truth of us. It's not the truth of us. Okay. So I want to speak that and cause that and put that in existence. Okay. So those are the 3 things I want to get into with that particular aspect of the teaching. But I also want to get into some other things. So, Black woman, Let me talk to you for a minute. All right. And for all my brothers who are listening, you are privy to a very, very, very special conversation. All right. So I invite you to enjoy it. Ladies, I want to talk to you about Black men and how they love. Okay. And I don't just mean romantic love. That's not what I'm pointing to. I want to show you something that is rooted in the history of North American slavery. Okay. I'm going to summate it, then I'm going to break it down. All right. But I want to make sure you're clear. I'm talking about your sons, your fathers, your uncles, your cousins, your brothers. Okay. I really am. And your booze. You could and your husbands and your lovers. I'm here for it all. Okay. But I want you to be clear. I'm talking about the Black men who love us. Now, I need you to make a distinction so you can walk with me on this. I am not talking about the Black men who are more committed to being right than being rich, who are more committed to being mad than being whole. I'm not talking about that group. Okay. It's just like Black women who are so hurt. They refuse to see that Black men aren't all bad. I'm not talking to that group either. I am talking to you. I am talking to you, Black woman, the Black woman who knows that there are Black men who love you, that you have an experience of a Black man being good to you. And I don't mean it has to be romantic. Most of my experiences with Black men who love me have never been romantic. I'm a street girl. Okay. So help me fix this. I'm trying to be nice to the new people because they don't know me that well. Okay. But as a street person, there were some negotiations that went on down, right? So I don't have a traditional relationship to my body that a woman who has been protected has had. It's that my body is not who I am. So I don't hold it like, oh, I'm so fragile. Oh, I'm so dainty. Oh, I'm so pure. I am not pure, rest assured, at all, not even close. All right. What I'm pointing to is that the people who watched out for me were Black men. The people who protected me were Black men. The people who carried me were Black men. The people who fought for me were Black men. I have had Black men in non-romantic relationships fight for my life and keep me alive. I was sick a couple of years ago. Some of y'all were with me when I had the emergency hysterectomy. It was pressing on my kidneys. Remember that? I had a team member at the time. His name was Terry House. He was amazing. All right. I used to live in Texas. He was an amazing man. And there was nothing romantic at all, but he would get on planes for me. He helped me with my business. When I got so sick and I got so sad, I couldn't get out of bed, he came over and scrubbed my tub for me. Do you understand? That is what I call an act of love. So it doesn't have to be romantic. So please do not take my word and try to turn it into relationship coaching for romantic things. It applies to, how about this? What I'm about to spit, what I'm about to share, what I'm about to teach ties to one particular thing: the historical wound between Black men and Black women and our power dynamic that shows up for them as disrespect and shows up for us as not being heard. That is the only thing I'm talking about. And the way that looks is I'm pointing to peace, okay, prosperity, holla and preach, and partnership. And partnership can be in any way you need it to be. Okay, so I need to make sure y'all don't, please hear my word and do not try to turn this into relationship coaching. It can be used in any context with a Black man. Hell, it may be able to be used with all men. I don't know. I haven't studied them. I only know my research. That's what I focus on. Okay, so with that being said, I need you to hear this. I'm about to say a couple of things that may go counter to what you have been taught. You'll be all right. Just breathe through it with me, okay? And I'm going to invite you to start thinking about a Black man, one that has demonstrated with his actions that he loves you. I don't mean he's perfect. I mean, he's completely imperfect. I promise you. I'm going to tell you how in a minute. But you know that he loves you, okay? And he's somebody that you are willing to invest in. I need y'all to hear my word on this. We expect, God help me fix this, please help me fix this. We expect Black men to invest in us purely based on gender, purely based on a transactional relationship, normally through the body. But there's also emotional transactions, right? There's also business transactions, right? We expect them gendered, that as a Black man, he's supposed to do certain things. Okay. We don't invest in him the way we want him to invest in us. Now, I mean that on multiple levels. You take the piece and tie it into what you know to be true. Look in your own real life and look at your own gender bias against Black men. No harm, no foul. It's historical. I'll fix it in a moment. But you got to see that you do this. Do you get mad when he doesn't pay? Do you get mad like, you know what? You a man. You're supposed to pay. Who says? White supremacy? Didn't he already pay? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to start looking at what you have as what you hold as true as your standard of masculinity. Like, okay, as a man, he should open my door. Chivalry. Okay, that's white supremacy. That's another left. That's to me, that's a leftover from a different time. I'm not suggesting no respect. I'm not saying that, but I need you to tell the truth. I need you to really tell the truth about these unspoken expectations that you have for Black men, that when they don't meet them, they're less in your eyes. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, honestly, I just need you to tell the truth about it. All right. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the rest of the lesson. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Please tell me. Please just holler at your girl. Send me some good juju. I don't care. Give me something. Let me know that this is landing, because you won't be able to get to the next part if you can't even get through this part. Because what I'm pointing to is your power as a Black woman. That's what I'm pointing to. But I can't get you that if you're still mad, like, oh, he didn't do his part. Love doesn't work like that. And especially when you're dealing with wounded Black men, because they're wounded. I mean, wounded in ways they don't even know. Okay? They don't even think they're wounded. That is how far this goes. Okay? And so I need you to actually start looking at how you have certain expectations of what it means to be loved by a Black man, to be protected by a Black man, to be thought well of by a Black man, so that you can start seeing what what your measures are. If you can't see, if you can't see your measures, you won't get this lesson. Okay. And if you get this lesson, you will start having peace, prosperity, and partnership in all of your relationships with Black men. I promise you. Just try me on this. Just try just a little bit. And then come back and say, okay, Dr. Venus, oh my God, it worked. I'm like, you think? Okay. One of the things I'm really good at is empowering my men without ever being romantically involved with them. Okay. And I think that that is a very, very special kind of love. Okay. And that doesn't equal romantic love is bad. I've been involved with Black men who I'm romantically involved with, and the principle still applies. I think it gets amplified because we don't tell the truth in romantic relationships all the time. Okay. So I just need you to, okay, I got it. Okay. I got that you got it. Okay. We're in the roundhouse. Okay, great. So, all right. So here's the thing. Now you may want to write this down. Triggers, tripwires, and internal emotional debit accounts. Write those three down. Triggers, tripwires, internal emotional debit accounts. I should have just said emotional debit accounts. I should actually just call them unspoken emotional debit accounts. Okay. Now, a tripwire is just like being in the military. You trip, there's some invisible line you cross, and something blows up. It's like a push, whoosh, something huge happens. And you're like, what happened here? And you have no idea what happened. Do you understand? You're like, how did World War IV start? What happened? What did I say? What didn't I say that had you lose it all? Okay, that's called a tripwire. Ladies, I want you to understand something. Black men have emotional tripwires that they don't even know they have. They can't even warn you until it shows up. In fact, by the time you trip it, they have so left the building. They're so gone. There's no bringing them back. They just have to calm themselves. It could take them hours, weeks, days, months, years, because the tripwire was so hidden from their view. They didn't even know it was there until you accidentally tripped over it. Does that make sense? All right. A trigger is sort of like, think of it as like a lever that when it gets touched, it releases something that's been kind of sitting there in the background. Okay. I'm gonna give you an example. Let me do the emotional debit personnel all three at the same time. And now, an internal emotional debit account or unspoken internal debit account is this. And mark me on this. Look in your own life. Black men have an internal banking system, emotional banking system, okay, where they do really good stuff, and they put it in their emotional bank system, right? And in their logic, that emotional bank account should cover when they mess up. Okay? It should cover when they drop the ball or not accountable, when they don't do what they say. And they don't tell you that. They don't say it, but they pull it out. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example of all three. Okay? Last week, I had all three happen with three different amazing, brilliant, awesome Black men. I'm not sexing none of them. Okay. They are awesome, awesome Black men, amazing human beings. So I need you to hear that. That's not hyperbole. They really are great guys. Each one is brilliant. Each one, they have my respect. I look up to them. I have a lot of love and appreciation for each one of them in their particular genius. Okay. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that me and Amazon been doing our thing, right? So I have a series up on Amazon Prime called Hot Mess Millionaire, right? And this week we will have over 1 million live stream hours. Okay, that means that's a lot of hours, and it's been less than 12 weeks. Okay, and all that's good stuff, right? You would think this is great, like woohoo, yay team, go team, go team, go team. All right, now here's the thing. The other episodes 2 to 7, because the 7-part series got declined for publication on Amazon Prime. Okay. And of course I lost my mind. I was like, my face hit the floor. My heart left my body. I was like, God, are you trying to kill me? Right. And I reached out to all three of these men. All right. And all three of them were kind and, professional, blah, blah, blah. Right. Oh, thank you. And so I gotta laugh because this is such a demonstration of all three going on at the same time. All right. So one of the Black men, brilliant Black men, got triggered. Another had a tripwire, and the third one had an emotional debit account that I didn't know about. Okay. And it all came to a head on the same day last week. Okay. And so one villainized me on the phone. The other turned me into the enemy and the bad guy in email. And then the third one got so grumbly, right? And revealed the emotional debit account in text message. Do you understand? And I want you to be very clear. These are good men. These are amazing human beings that I know love me, care about my vision, know what I'm up to, have taken time with me, have invested in me, have gone above and beyond for me. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm telling you the whole truth. They have been amazing Black men. Do you understand? And they all have emotional wounds. And I say, and it's all the same wound. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the same wound. It's the wound around respect. Do you understand? There's a historical wound for Black men because of the history of slavery in North America that has never been tended to and never been healed. Okay? And that has to do with when a Black woman speaks up, it occurs to them like you're talking down. No, it's not the truth, but it feels that way to them. It's like a raw nerve. All right. And whatever way it lands for them, it doesn't matter. It feels that way to them and they act on it without checking it out. And then they have to do what they do. They do survival straits. They either leave, lash out, take themselves away, punish you, or give you some kind of punitive consequence. Does that make sense? Holla at your girl if you know exactly what I'm talking about. They don't do what they say on some level. Okay. You say anything about it, Whether you say it soft or say it hard, doesn't matter. You say anything about it, that internal debit system is like, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. Didn't I do da 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 da? As if that has anything to do with the accounting. Do you see what I'm saying? That is an emotional wound. And because Black women, in my opinion, we've had more time to be self-reflective because society has allowed us to go to school more so than we do personal development, we do therapy, we do a lot of things to heal those emotional wounds so that we can actually not kill ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Society has trained men, specifically Black men, but all men, that their job is to keep going, keep providing, keep it moving. Don't look back, let it go, whatever, move on. But even though they do that, they keep creating the same cycle for themselves and for us. You see what I'm saying? Because what ends up happening is you never have the critical conversations to actually heal the wound. Can you see that in your own life? Look in your own life. Okay? I need you to see it for yourself. I'm making light of it because I understand it. I know it's not bad. It's just, this is the thing. And I'm going to tell you this from a spiritual perspective, ladies. Okay? I believe, and I'm going to tell you about myself first and you map it onto you. I believe God kept me alive for a purpose. I do not believe my life belongs to me at all. I don't think my life has nothing to do with me. I think my life has everything to do with you. Okay? I believe that God has spared my life to be a living demonstration of anything is possible. That if you take on healing, you can have whatever you want, whether it's millions in your bank account or a million views on Amazon or a million, I don't know, a million houses built or $1 million donated to your favorite charity. The million doesn't really matter. Do you understand? It doesn't really matter. But I'm very clear that I have a calling in my life. And y'all catch this, girl, catch this, write this down, tattoo it on your forehead, okay? You only want Black men in your life who have the emotional maturity to support you in the calling on your life. And when they demonstrate they don't have it, don't get mad at them. Don't get mad at them for revealing that they don't have the emotional maturity or they're not spiritually evolved enough to stay in communication until it turns. Don't get mad at them. That's like getting mad at a kid for crying. Don't you dare get mad at the kid for crying. He ain't got no language. He ain't got nothing else. All he can do is leave or throw a tantrum or blame or point the finger or take himself away. That's an emotional maturity. That means that he's stuck at an age that he cannot get beyond, and he will sacrifice everything that he had invested in for his right to be right and to protect whatever he feels like was violated in terms of respect. Are you feeling me? Is this landing? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? And I want you to be very clear. It doesn't diminish their genius. It doesn't. I would not be where I am if I had not been loved by all of the men I'm pointing to and all the men I haven't. My sisters really do feed me, but my brothers carry me, and they always have. And each one of these Black men have caught me when I needed to be caught. Does that make sense? So this is not, be clear, this is not a slam on them. They're great guys. This is not a slam on Black men. Absolutely not. This is you, Black women, learning how to be empowered when they lose their fucking minds. Okay? So here's the thing I need you to understand. When you're contending with triggers, tripwires, and internal emotional debit accounts, you have to take on personal accountability for yourself, not for him. You can't make him change. You don't need to. That's God's job. They'll figure it out. They'll realize, at some point, they'll realize they fucked themselves. They really will. I promise you they will. And it's okay because your job is to love them. God will take care of the other part. But if you try to make them accountable, when they have demonstrated they're not willing to be accountable, you're out of line. You're out of line. You can tell the truth. I tell the truth on a regular basis. I have to. Otherwise, I can't breathe, all right? But I don't try to make them change. I say the truth, and I let them negotiate their own selves. Okay, if they want to leave, then I let them leave. If they want to punish, then I let them punish. If they want to withhold, then they have to deal with the consequence of withholding. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to change nobody. That is God. I can't even change me. God has to change me. I can't even, y'all lucky I'm doing better about cursing. I think I'm doing great. You see what I'm saying? So when you start dealing with personal accountability, you have to deal with your own, not his. And you need to know this. This is what personal boundaries feel like. It's not your job to fix others. If he is committed to being stuck in a paradigm where his only option is to blame other people, that's his life. Do you know how limiting that life is? What about the ones who have to leave? Do you understand they can never get roots? They'll never have the certainty of knowing they're loved because they have to leave. Or the ones who villainize, they're always fighting people who are on their side so no one can ever stay. That's an awful life. That's their jail. You don't have to get in their jail. Don't go to their jail. Let them have their own personal hell. Okay? It's not your job. It's okay if others get angry. I speak up all the time. And I do it in love. And sometimes I do it with some edge on it. Sometimes I do it with some heat. Sometimes I do it with a hug. It doesn't matter. But it's okay if they get mad. That's okay. I get mad all the time. Doesn't mean anything. Mad changes. I'm going to tell you, TD Jakes has this wonderful lesson on agreement, that you have to have people who don't agree in order to get the best result. You have to talk through it. You see what I'm saying? And staying in the conversation when you don't agree, it takes a level of willingness and emotional maturity and grace, because it feels like you're being attacked when you're not. I don't care how. I've had people say bad things to me on a regular basis, and I'm clear that when they say it, they're not talking to me. They're talking to a historical idea I represent. You may want to write that down. That historical idea could be their mother. You understand? Or their ex-wife, or their current spouse, or some teacher. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that I have, that I don't know, speaking, my voice is animated, or because it feels like I'm yelling when I'm just passionate. Who knows? That's a trigger, not mine to carry. I'm not responsible for him. Okay. It's okay if they get angry. It's okay to say no. I'm going to tell y'all, no is a complete sentence. I don't explain myself no more. You know what I'm saying? When someone asks me something, I'll say no. I'll say no, but thank you for asking. Or why? Because I wanted that, or because I said so. I'm not going to fight you on this. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm not going to explain to you. I don't need to do that. You're not my daddy. And I don't have to say that to him. I'm just saying I'm not answering that question. You see what I'm saying? It's not my job to take responsibility for others. Whatever any of your Black men do, whether it's your son or your boo or your boss, okay, you're not responsible for their stuff. Okay, I'm very clear. I have PTSD. I'm very clear I have anxiety. I'm very clear that I truly am a hot mess on a good day. So I'm mindful of what's mine and what's not mine. Okay. And what's not mine, I don't take it on. I don't apologize for stuff that I did not do. I don't try to make rights for stuff that people made up. I don't do that. But if I've done something that I feel wasn't okay in my spirit, then I tend to it. Okay. I don't have to anticipate the needs of others. You can't, it's awful trying to anticipate what a person's going to think and say. Stop it. Stop it now. Okay. It's a bad survival strategy. Stop it now. Okay. You can't do that with him. All right. No matter what. There was a Black man that I loved, just thought the world of, right? And street boy, very street, a perfect match for my street, brilliant, genius on so many levels. All right. And had a habit of what I call punitive consequence, that if I did not obey him, there was some kind of problem, big problem. And it almost always showed up with him leaving in some way, shape, or form, right? And so he got mad about something. I think he got offended for some reason. Respectability. Oh my God. I disrespected him because I didn't do something, or didn't say something, or whatever, right? That he thought I should have said. And so he decided to take himself away. And I realized that and y'all should check this in your own life, if somebody says they're leaving, let them go. Believe his word. Believe his word. If you chase after him, you are now training him that he can pull that card and play it on you whenever he wants. That's a hard life. You're now his mama. You're not his equal. So don't do that. If someone says they have to leave, if they're grumpy and they leave in anger, then you should know that that's their bed they have to live in. Don't take them back. I did this one. If you take them back, you're training them that they can do that and take you to that emotional upheaval. Don't do it. It's just going to kill your emotion. It's going to mess up your nervous system. And it also doesn't have them grow up. There's consequence when people leave. There's consequence when people don't do what they say. There's consequence when people decide that that they're going to leave you. It's fine. Let them go. It is their loss. And you need to know that. I don't care what it takes. If you have to get on your knees and pray every night, God, you are my vindicator. You help me, Lord. Do something. Get to the Psalms. Go do something. But if you don't understand that it's their loss, that you are precious, that you are priceless, that you are, I'm God's favorite. I know you think it's Jesus, but I know it's me. But you are a daughter of the Most High, whatever way you want to put it. So you have to relate to yourself as God wrapped in flesh, as precious and priceless. And if they cannot appreciate it, it's not yours. You're not responsible for them. They just don't have the emotional maturity, or they haven't evolved spiritually enough to let you be you without it meaning something about them. That's the truth of it, boo. Your actions don't mean nothing about them, but they think so. That's why they tripping so hard. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. It's not my job. I don't need them. Okay, it's not my job to make. It's my job to make me happy. Exactly. So if somebody chooses to leave or act out or cut ugly, their actions are not mine. Think of it as an invisible windshield wiper. It doesn't get on me because it's not for me. That's them to them. That's the benefit of understanding identity. They're not talking to me. They're talking to themselves about themselves. Okay. With their actions. Okay. Nobody has to agree with me. You can spit your truth and live it and never have agreement that doesn't invalidate it just because they don't agree. They don't have to agree. They don't have to understand it between you and God. And you don't need their agreement to be yourself. You don't need it. So let go of thinking that they need. There's nothing that can give you. There's nothing he can give you. I want y'all to hear this. Y'all need to hear this one. He can't heal you. Only God can. Okay, you and God have to work that out. There's nothing he can give you that's going to have you feel better about yourself. That is you and God. He is not the external mirror to reflect the best of you back. It's always nice to be thought well of, but then if you depend on that, he can always take it away. So you got to get yourself oriented to be like, you're your own happy. And, and I have a dog named Happy. So, my happiness is externalized, but it's, Will and Jada did this whole video, Will had this thing. It's not his job to make her happy. They had a new agreement in their marriage because of that. Okay. And the last one is I have a right to my own feelings. Whether you feel upset or insulted or supported or abandoned, that's all your feelings. That ain't got nothing to do with him. That means you already had those wounds in you before he showed up. Okay, so you don't have to he didn't abandon you. You were abandoned waiting to happen. So you have to tend to being able to be fulfilled in your own self, no matter what he does. And I don't care if it's your kid or your boss. And I'm gonna tell you, that when those triggers, tripwires, or those internal debit accounts kick in, it is damaging. It has impact. My series on Amazon, had it been uploaded properly, it probably would have been approved. Do you know what I'm saying? If people had done what they said they were going to do in terms of reaching out to people in a timely fashion, it could have been a whole different story. If I had the support in terms of getting all of the national attention that I was under the impression we were going for, it would have been a whole different marketing campaign. But those things didn't happen. And it's okay they didn't happen because they weren't supposed to. If they were supposed to, God would have made sure they happened. So I don't have to project my disappointment on them. Do you see what I'm saying? That's between me and God. They ain't got nothing to do with them. You see what I'm saying? So I hope this is landing. All right. And then the last one is I am enough. Because you are. You're enough. I don't care what they say. All right. You truly are. And until you really understand that, you'll keep guessing. Okay. Okay. And so the last thing I want to put in before we wrap up, and I know this is a lot, and my prayer is that you're fed. Okay. And that you really start to appreciate and champion Black men for being fundamentally good. And they just have some wounds. They just got some wounds. Michelle and Barack were talking about their relationship, and they talk about a partnership that took years. The TDJ talks about, you give the vows and then you spend years working it out, getting in an agreement. So if you can shift your conversation about Black men from being bad or negative, but if you can shift it from, okay, he's a good man and he's wounded. That's a different world than, oh, he did me dirty. Can you feel the difference? Because he is a good man. He made it through slavery. He got himself up. He's doing his business. He's doing his thing. He's trying to help, and he got some wounds. You know what I'm saying? So do we. You know what I mean? So if you can have some compassion for that and not try to correct his wounds, but love him, and the way that you love a black man who's wounded is you do not project your hurt on him. You grant grace and you let him leave. You let him go. You say your piece. You don't apologize. You don't have to. You honor who he is as a human being and let him sort himself out. And when he is ready, he'll do whatever he does. But that means you have to be completely autonomous. You know what I'm saying? You got to be completely autonomous within yourself. You can't be mad at him. You can't put your survival and happiness on him in business, in love, or life. Okay? You have to be accountable for you. You can't put it on him. Otherwise, his wound and your wound are going to fight and it will escalate. Okay? And so the last thing I want to share before I sign off today is this. What if you and I, sis, what if we could actually heal history as we rewrite it? You know, right now we're rewriting history. I just saw Jay-Z's again, Jay-Z, the family. I put it in the notes. It's called his video with Beyonce, Family Feud, right? And when Blue Ivy becomes the president, I'm so happy about this. But we're rewriting history with the pandemic, with the protests, with global warming. We really are rewriting history. I think this is the perfect time to take on slavery, to healing that wound, that fundamental wound around between black men and black women that God created in the womb of slavery. Do you understand? And dismantle it, take it apart. Right? I'm thinking about offering a new online program that focuses on healing the historical wound from slavery that shapes the power dynamic between black men and black women, specifically when we need to come together to dismantle white supremacy, systemic racism, prejudice, and bias. I think it's amazing that when we need to be together the most, that's when we become the most separate. And I know that's a historical wound. I'm convinced it was built in when the black family was torn apart during the institution of North American slavery. So as far as I'm concerned, it is a historical wound. But in this historical moment, we could heal it. We really could, black woman. We really could. So I'm thinking about doing a class, doing an 8-week online class about that topic. Okay. And really, and I'll deep dive into triggers and tripwires and stuff like that, but also the social positioning, the survival strategy, so you're not surprised by them, the manifesting millions with the men who love us. You see what I'm saying? And there's a way to do that as well. So I feel like God is trying to birth something through me that's going to help us be empowered as we move into this election. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I think that this is our time. And I think we can do it with our black men. I do. I don't think it's either or. I think it's both and. All right. Oh, yay. So I feel like God is trying to birth something through me. And I'll make sure the investment is workable and reasonable. There'll be a payment plan and all that kind of stuff. And I think what I'm gonna do is that it's gonna be, I talk to black women, but I market to black women, but I reach the world. I'm speaking to the world. But this is what I think I'm gonna do. I think what I'm gonna do is every black woman who actually invests in herself to do this training with me, to do this program, she gets to bring a black man for free. Okay. Now he can't pay for it because you're investing in him. And you want to pick wisely who you invest with, who you put in, because it has to be a black man who's already demonstrated that he loved you. All right. And it won't be a relationship course. It'll be healing the historical wound such that we can manifest millions with the black men who love us. I hope that makes sense. It makes me feel good. And I feel like it's something that's going to help us. I really do. I feel like it's going to be something to help us. So anyway, I talked long today. I was excited. I wish I've been waiting to talk about this all day long. And I love the resources. I'm excited about empowering us to be empowered with black men as we heal history. And it will be the healed Black woman who transforms the world. But could you imagine what it would be like if we had transformed Black men with us, running business together, raising families together, empowering politics together? I just think there's something beautiful that's trying to get birthed. you know, that's trying to get birth. And I will say this for all of my allies who are not Black, okay, you are welcomed here. Just take the principles and apply them to you. All right. So don't get trippy just because I'm not talking to white people or any other. It's not that. You are, as far as I'm concerned, you're welcomed here. Just know that I talk to Black women, but you're welcomed on all levels to participate. Just respect my house. Disrespect my house. Okay. So all my allies, you're welcomed here. All my different races, genders, every sexuality you got, bring it. I'm not tripping. Just know that my research is in the formation of North American cultural identities. Okay. So that's what I traffic in. All right. So know that I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you out. I'm tending to me. And I really do tend to talk about stuff I know. I would hate to actually act like I know stuff about other races and have them feel like I bastardized. You know, sort of like people talking bad about Beyonce and Africa. And you should say the Africans are they're fussing because like, how dare you appropriate African culture? I'm like, oh my God. Okay. so I'm mindful of that. So I tend to talk about what I have researched. So again, everyone's welcomed. All right. Just know that I'm a Black woman and I'm not diminishing you. I'm celebrating me. Okay. So I think that's all for now. Know that you love beyond all measure, my sweet sister in success, and the brothers who love us. For all the brothers who will listen to this or have listened to this, please know that I love you. This is my way of empowering you by empowering Black women to let you grow. Okay. And is there anything else? If you were fed by this word, please pay it forward. Please share this. Please share this show. Share this episode. Um, I think it can help. Okay. If you were fed by it, don't be stingy. Pay it forward. Don't be stingy. Give it, give it, give it, give it away, give it away, give it away now. Okay. All right, sis. All right, bro. And thank you to all our allies. So everybody who's not Black, okay, know that I love you. All right. Me loving me doesn't mean I don't love you. All right. And again, you're welcomed here. And I got to say that because people get so trippy. They feel like, well, you're not talking about me. I'm talking about, you're right. I'm not talking about your lived experience. But if you can find yourself in my word, if you can resonate, you'll be fine. You'll be fed by me. Okay. You'll be fed by me. Okay. I love you. Goodbye for now. And remember this, you're worth so much more than you have ever historically, culturally, socially, economically been taught to believe. You are the second coming. All right. You are God wrapped in flesh. You are the way, the truth, and the light. And I thank God for you. I'm Dr. Venus, your hot mess millionaire. I love you. Goodbye for now.